Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Please hit that subscribe button if you're new here. We're going to be winning bets all season long. I got Big Mike Rader in the house with me. We're going to talk about the Cowboys +4 at the 49ers. The over-under set at 45 as Mike is over there repping the Men of Order t-shirt. We love to see it. We love to see it. Looking good, looking good. All right, Mike. So here, I'm going to put it like this. My boss has me doing a catering job on Sunday for him, helping him out, bartending some event, whatever it is, right? He's a huge Cowboys fan. We bet on the Cowboys games all the time, all season long. You know, he gives me points, however many we decide on. We do the whole 9 all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about hitting him up and saying, hey, look, either I work for free on Sunday or I work for double. I got 49ers money line. You let me know. He's always going to take the deal. He loves his Cowboys. He takes it even if they're playing the Chiefs and things like that. Yeah, he doesn't care. We made bank off him in the playoffs with the 49ers 2 years straight. So, if anything, I'm giving him some of his money back, actually. But I need you to either talk me off the ledge or I'm sending a text when we get out of here. So what you got, Mike?
Sounds lucrative to me, man. Sounds lucrative to me. I like the 49ers to win this game. I like the money line. Let's go for it. That's a lot of tacos, a lot of, you're doubling up the money. That's good eating, bro. So, and the reason why I say that is, I'm looking for an edge between these two teams. Great defenses. You got to give credit where credit is due. The Cowboys have been playing lights out on defense. They've been scoring on defense more than some offenses have, right?
Yep.
And the 49ers, I mean, their defense is their defense. They're continuing doing where they left off from, last year and the year before. And, the 49ers are the 49ers right now. It's a reason why that they're the NFC's favorite to go to the Super Bowl, right? But one thing that I did look at as far as edge goes is the 49ers rushing attack on offense versus the Cowboys rush defense. The Cowboys are giving up 4.6 yards per play in the run, which is one of the bottoms of the league right now. So I think it's like 5th or 6th or something like that. I'll pull it up, but it's at the bottom of the league, is giving up yards per attempt. Flip side, you got Christian McCaffrey, who is arguably probably MVP front runner if you really wanted to give somebody MVP right now. He's on a tear. And I do like Christian McCaffrey to continue doing that. His over is 77.5 for rushing yards. Usually I don't go for a rushing amount that high, but I like him to get over that because he's shown week after week that he's good for that. So it's a -115. I do like Christian McCaffrey. What do you think about that one, man?
I definitely like it. I mean, he's going to be heavily involved. You know how it's been so far this season with the 49ers, how it's been since he got to the 49ers, to be honest with you. And like you said, that's the one weakness in this Cowboys defense here. They have been great against the pass so far this season, but there's room to pause against that. And, the fact that they've been so good against the pass, they've played insane quarterback roster so far of Mac Jones, Josh Dobbs, Zach Wilson, and Daniel Jones. So,
man,
I'm not putting too much heat in how good they've been defending the pass and how they've been forcing all those turnovers. A lot of those were on interceptions. So, I don't know where to put that. I need to see how they perform against Brock Purdy here in this 49ers offense, who is on fire. I would love to see them go up against the Dolphins so we could figure out what the hell this defense is really about, right? But again, like you said from the start, I don't want to take credit away from the Cowboys either because they've been playing lights out. And, teams except for that Cardinals game. I was going to say teams get tripped up, though. That was their trip up. So at this point, they're back to firing. They didn't give the Patriots even a glimmer of a chance. They didn't even let them think about covering or winning that game, which is a good sign for Cowboys fans and for my boss. Maybe not a good sign for me. Hopefully they don't keep rolling into this one. But, I like that. Christian McCaffrey rushing. Would you consider his rushing and receiving 115.5? Or
that's even better?
That's way too high, in my opinion. You think?
115.5? I like it both.
It's just a high ass number to take. You know what I mean?
It is a high number. It's scary.
But I do too, because he could get a 60-yard screen catch. You know what I mean? So
and that's when he's been doing that all season. Like, why not? Yeah, it's the Cowboys defense, but man, we've already went through their resume so far this season. They really haven't been playing anybody special. And when they played the Cardinals, they tripped up pretty bad. They got exposed to a degree. the 49ers is the best team they've played all season. So I think that Christian McCaffrey is good for that 115. It's a lot to ask for. But maybe just I don't know. I don't know. One of the two is good, you know, because Christian McCaffrey is good for getting his all-purpose yards.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's why I just threw that out there, just in case you don't want to take the rushing. Just in case you don't want 80 yards of just rushing, because he could easily get 60 rushing and 100 receiving or something like that if the cards play that way. Anything else that you're looking at? Any other matchups, or it's really just that 49ers run defense that kind of makes you think that gives the 49ers the edge there? Because I would agree with that.
Yeah, and you know what? It's on the flip side for the Cowboys. We just haven't seen enough of the Cowboys offense. You know, for me to even make like a sound call, right? The defense has been blowing out teams to the point where you're not really getting a full look at what the Cowboys bring to, on offense. And maybe that's a good for a guy like Dak Prescott, who was pretty turnover heavy last year, and maybe that's helping him out, it remains to be seen. And if they get in a situation where the game is close, now we're going to see what kind of Dak Prescott we're getting out of, this season, because we haven't really seen really much of anything. But if I did have to pick anything, anytime touchdown for CD Lamb is a plus 170. I think that's pretty good. Connect with his number one receiver, and Tony Pollard is a minus 110 anytime touchdown score. So one of those two, they kind of get going on offense when they do get going. So those are the two that I'm looking at on the Cowboys side.
Yeah, I'm looking for Tony Pollard to he's been very consistent. I got him on my fantasy team. He's been very consistent, but he hasn't been racking up touchdowns just yet. So I'm definitely looking for him to get on the board at some point. I don't know if it'll be today, or I don't know if it'll be Sunday against this 49ers rush defense. We shall see. Right. But I'm looking for him to get on the board at some point in the near future, quite a few times. Now, the one area you could attack if you're the Cowboys offense is the 49ers passing defense. Not amazing in that front. They've been amazing in their rush defense, but middle of the pack in the passing yards category at 17th. But they're second in yards per completion allowed. So they're giving up yards, but teams are, they got to throw a lot in order to get those yards. They got to kind of nickel and dime down the field. And for that reason, I like Dak Prescott at his completions number over under 22 and a half. I like him for over 22 and a half completions in this game. I think there's multiple avenues to get to it. So far this season in week one, obviously, they didn't need to do anything offensively against the Giants there. It was a 40-0 blowout. It was like 30-0 by halftime or whatever it was. They only had 13 completions, 24 attempts in that game. The next week, even though they were in control of the Jets game the entire time, they won 30-10. It was never close. He still had 31 completions on 38 attempts. And then, in Arizona, in a game where they were losing, and it was a bad game, he had 25 completions on 40 attempts, so he still got there. Last week, again, even though they were blowing them out 38-3, they've had 2 or 3 of those types of blowout games already this season, and he still got 28 completions on 34 attempts. He's pretty efficient so far, 71% completion percentage. So, I definitely like him to have to pass the ball in this game, because it's the same situation as the Eagles and Rams with the Matt Stafford play that we talked about earlier. If they go down, Dak's going to have to pass the ball. He's going to have to get completions, and the 49ers are going to be playing a little bit of a prevent, backed off type of style, as the defenses do if they're up in the lead, which, it might not give you many yards, but it gives you easy completions. So I like that there. And then also, if they're in the game, it's going to be because he's going to be making good plays down the field and things like that, because the 49ers run defense is stout. So
I agree. On the other side for the 49ers, I mean, George Kittle, 39.5 over for his for receiving. I like that one too. At some point, George Kittle has to get going, right? That's kind of what I'm resting on. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm putting too much stock into George Kittle, but I've been like, okay, when is George Kittle getting started? Now they got a bevy of weapons over there.
Right.
And it might be somebody's turn one week and then the other, but outside of Christian McCaffrey, it's like they're kind of taking turns on whoever's going to go off, right?
Yep.
Maybe George Kittle this week. Maybe we get something from George Kittle this week. So over 39.5 receiving yards, minus 115 is good too.
And just to clarify, you don't like George Kittle over 49.5 rushing yards, right?
Oh, yeah, do not.
Just clarify that. You almost said it at first. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody heard us.
39.5 receiving yards.
I'm telling you, bro, watch. They're going to do a little end around now. I used to
50-yard end around. Like
in Pop Warner, I played tight end. By the time I got to middle school, high school, college, I was playing slot, receiver, outside, stuff like that. I was playing tight end in Pop Warner, man. Let me tell you, that was my favorite play, dude. They used to call the end around for me. Come around, take the hand. I used to love that. So maybe they got to get some George Kittle action here. They got to switch it up a little bit against this tough Cowboys defense. But yeah, I mean, I really don't want to put too much stock in the Cowboys so far this season. I mean, they're 3-1. Congrats. But that one loss is a horrible loss. It's a horrible job. It might be the Cardinals' only win this season. And there was plenty of people taking bets on them to only win 1 game or 2 games this season. The fact that they got one on the Cowboys, and I know the Cardinals have been playing a lot better than we expected, yes. Still should not be a team that the Cowboys lose to. And then they beat the Giants 40-0. They beat the Jets 30-10, and they beat the Patriots 38-3. I mean, that's Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, and Daniel Jones. I'm not too high on any of those quarterbacks or offenses in general. There's no weapons on those teams. Besides you got Darius Slayton and Darren Waller. You got Garrett Wilson with no quarterback, and you got Kendrick Bourne or Hunter Henry on the Patriots. What are we talking about here? So this is the test. This is the test for them. I can't do anything but take the 49ers here to cover that 4, and money line obviously even easier. So I'd rather do that. Especially if I can get some even money here with my boss. So I'll take that instead of taking it on the book. You know what I mean? Yep. But, yeah, I mean, you got to go 49ers here, right? I mean, they haven't been tested yet, especially with all the weapons that they have. Cowboys obviously missing, Trey Diggs all season now. Yep. So it could get rough for them in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
The possibility exists.
It does. There's a world where the Cowboys get blown out in this game, for sure. This is an interesting one. Before we get out of here, so my last thought is Christian McCaffrey. This is one of the lowest numbers I've seen for first touchdown probably ever. It's a plus 360 for Christian McCaffrey first touchdown. That's crazy, right? Like usually the lowest I've seen is like plus 400. It's at a plus 360 right now. So that's that. I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not saying Christian McCaffrey first touchdown or anything like that. But the number is so low. I haven't seen anything like that before. Yeah,
I was going to ask you too. Are we still riding Christian McCaffrey every week at minus 175 right now? I mean, he has a touchdown in every single game he's played with the 49ers uniform on, man.
Yeah, anytime touchdown. Yep.
You're eating a lot of juice now, but they fuck it, throw up 2.5 units at this point and get her done, right? Yep. They find a way to get him in the end zone every time.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
That's a must play every week at this point.
Until it fails, right?
Otherwise, if
it ain't broken, don't fix it. But I wanted to also just say, because we mentioned the weapons that were on those teams that the Cowboys beat, the Giants, Jets, and Patriots. You look at the Cardinals. I mean, it's not like they got like firepower weapons, but I mean, Marquise Brown, 5 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown. That's that's probably the best player that the Cowboys have had to defend so far this season.
That is true.
And he did his thing. And then you had Michael Wilson, go all, 2 catches for 86 yards. He was, not a big name, obviously, but he had his success there, with a quarterback that's playing out of this world for what his capabilities are. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a real test. I got no choice but to go 49ers here in this one.
I agree. I 100% agree.
And with that being said, we will be back for Monday Night Football. We got the Green Bay Packers and the Raiders. So, we got to bring Big Mike Raider on for that one. Yeah. What do you think about that? Let's give him a little sneak peek. You think your Raiders got a shot pulling it out, or it's pretty much a bust until we get rid of Josh McDaniels over there?
The one good matchup we do have is Max Crosby versus that offensive line. And even our interior defensive line has been coming around last couple of weeks as far as stopping the run and things like that, and even getting after the pass. The Packers offensive line they're injured and they haven't been playing great anyway. So, that's kind of where we need to expose that matchup. And I think Max Crosby, if he takes over this game, we have a shot. This is 2 teams that aren't going to score many points.
Yeah, no, I mean, we saw what the Lions just did to them on last Thursday night, where the Packers literally could not get anything going. Jordan Love could barely even drop back. I'm surprised they didn't end up taking more sacks than the Giants did on Monday night here against the Seahawks. So, no, that's a great point. It seems like a game for Tyree Wilson to, keep on track with how he has shown that he has a chance to improve and be good in this defense. And then, Max Crosby obviously is a stud. So,
right.
Yeah, no, definitely. But that's just a little sneak peek for you guys. Monday morning, we'll be out with way more on that game and our official bets for that as well. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, tune in. Also subscribe at Big Mike Raiders channel as well for great Raiders content and football content in general, following the NFL all season long. Best of luck betting everybody this week and in this game specifically. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.
Shout out Manavoda. Shout out Big Mike. And shout out Raider Nation.
That's right.
Go Raiders, baby.